Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sah Viryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Om Shanno Mitra Sham Varunaha Shanno Bhavatvaryama Shanno Indro Brihaspatihi Shanno Vishnu Rukramaha Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami Ritam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanma Vavatu Tad Vaktaram Avatu Avatu Mam Avatu Vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So now this verse 7, I would tell everybody, put your thinking hat on. Because this is, it says something and the meaning is opposite of it. And that's why I was thinking that if we think Bhagavad Gita is difficult, go to this Upanishads, उसमें और बहुत सर चकरा जाएगा. And without the people's explanation, like Swami Chinmayananda and Shankaracharya ji and all the great people, we won't be anywhere because we will take it totally wrong. So that is one background of this. So what we saw last week was the theory of manifestation or creation, whatever you want to say. And there were so many different aspects to it that, the Brahman desired, it said, and then we saw that actually the desires of all the jiva, whichever way you want to take it, and then he wanted to become many. This one wanted to become many and be born. So this is how the whole world came into manifestation, and then it became everything. One entity became many. And then we say, hey, how that's possible? Look at your own dream. We go to sleep and, we are totally like on the bed and हम पूरी दुनिया में घूम के आ जाते हैं. पता नहीं क्या क्या लड्डू वड्डू खा के आ जाते हैं. सब कुछ. And that this whole thing is created. So it's possible that you become everything and then it dissolves into it, And then there were so many different terms. We saw knowledge, ignorance, houseless, manifest, unmanifest, defined, undefined, and all those things. And then that was called existence. So why they call that existence? Because that's what we can relate to. Right now, if we say existence, for us, the simplest existence is what we see and you, me, and everybody else. And what is non-existence is what I cannot understand, what I cannot see is non-existent. Think about it. So that's the kind of approach they took. But we'll see exactly what they're saying. So he said, Asat ve idam agre asit tat ve sad ajayat tat atma nagam swayam akurut tasma tat sukrutam uchite iti. I cannot did the sandhi separate. It's easier to say. So asat, this is the most controversial word over here, and it has a different meaning. Classical Vedanta meaning is opposite of what it is over here. But they have a reason why they did, because they're talking to students. So here Swamiji called it non-existent, but we'll see. There's a lot of debate about it, and he will explain why. So right now, asat over here means non-existent. Ve is verily, idam is this, agre in the beginning. It seems that's where the word agrawal came, beginning. Asit was, tat is from that. Ve is indeed, sat is existing. So sat and asat. Now you can see the two words. Sat means existing, asat means non-existing. Ajayat, jayate means to be born. So was born, ajayat. Tat is that, atmanagam, na gam swayam, itself by itself. Because usually, there's a term they use in Vedanta that the Bhagwan created this world from within himself, kind of thing. We talked about it. Akurut, kuch karna, creation, created. Tasmat is therefore, tat is again it. Sukrutam, this word is very important word and it has a very deep meaning. There are two different meaning you can take. Krutam means to kuch karna, sukrutam, बहुत अच्छे से करना, self-made or well-made. So those are the two meaning. Self-made and well-made. Uchyate is called, iti is thus. So here the word asat is the main, very important one, which can be very, very confusing because otherwise ऐसे बोलते हैं sat or asat. So sat means the truth, and asat is like, not, we can't say not truth, but something changing is called asat. वैसे, or there's another term कि जो कुछ कभी होता ही नहीं है उसको भी असत बोल सकते हैं, right? So there are different meanings of asat. That it can be something which never existed, or maybe it existed but keeps changing. And over here, asat means Brahman. ये कैसे हो गया, क्यों डाला उन्होंने? But we'll see. That's why I said put your thinking hat on. And usually asat जो है ना वो word संसार के लिए use करते थे. Oops, great, I had a spill of water. I knocked my water. Can you just give me a minute? I have to put a towel here, okay? Sorry. Okay, so that was, why that accident happened, so you guys can think a little bit. Oh, sorry. Okay, so what I was saying, yeah. I was saying that usually the word sat is used for Brahman and asat is used for this world and all that. They have Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. The word Mithya is there changing and all, but idhar ulta kiya unhone. And so why did they say that? So, like we saw that the presence of this world also proved presence of Brahman. Remember, we discussed that a little bit earlier, that from non-existent, existence cannot come, right? So even if they are using this word non-existent, they are just telling you because we can't see it. That's why they are telling us, just, using the term that we understand. So, in this particular mantra, just remember that, asat means sat only over here. That's all. Ulta meaning hai. The context is different. So that's one point. And then, the why we have to say it this way, because they have already mentioned earlier that the world comes from Brahman. Previous verse only proved it, right? That Brahman is the one that the world has came from. But the main point over here is that the world is constantly changing. Okay? So, the changeless reality which cannot be comprehended, that's why they use the word asat. Okay? So, what does it say? Not what does it, sorry. What one of the Swamis explained, that in this Upanishad, many times it is said in many different Upanishad that when this world was not there, that time also Brahman was there. And even in other religion, they say, I think there was a Sufi song, Jab kuch nahi tha, tab main hi tha, something. There is a very beautiful Sufi song, that even if world was not there, main tab bhi tha. That's, talking from Bhagwan's point of view. So that's what you have to say. And so what Nikhilanandji, in one of his commentary about this Upanishad, he was saying that if we didn't have all these explanations from different Swamis, we will be totally confused. So that's why we have to follow what Shankaracharya and all that told us, and then this explanation will become clear. So what they are saying, this asat rupi Brahman, the word they use asat, alone this world has come. So the world to us is existing, And then we are doing the vyahavar, we are doing the transaction in this world. But once we gain this knowledge that, hey, Brahman is the ultimate and everything is come from Brahman, then that person is called Jivan Mukta. Now, what is the context? Why they are talking about all these things? Because this Jivan Mukta is person who lives in the world, who sees the world, but he understands that, this world is a changing part of Brahman and actually changeless is the main thing. So that's what he's saying. That's the whole purpose. So he sees his body and everything and he's doing all the vyahavar. And then, when we say you have heard of this, right? That the world is an illusion and all that. So Vedanta really doesn't say that. The more deeper you go into Vedanta, it will tell you the world is not an illusion. It is real also, but it's the changing aspect of Brahman. That's the main thing. Because this is what Nikhilanand said, and I think that makes sense to me also. Agar world illusion hota, so we are also living in the world only, right? We are part of this. So हम भी illusion ही है. हम illusion है तो अगर हमको realization मिल गया तो क्या हो गया? हम illusion है तो फिर क्या फर्क पड़ता है? It doesn't have any meaning anymore. That everything is illusion, everything is going to disappear. So then the person who got self-realized also disappeared. That will be the logic. So we cannot completely say that the world is an illusion. The only reason they called it an illusion because आज है कल नहीं है, but नहीं है तो मतलब गया कहाँ वो? Right? It did not just disappeared, it merged back into Brahman. That's the difference. Because a totally materialistic case, like I know Falguni ji made an excellent point earlier, that the Prakriti life was, okay, I got Vileen in the Prakriti, then what? The people who don't go beyond that, everything is finished then. But that's not what we are saying. That's not what Vedanta is saying. That's why the world is not a complete illusion. That was a very good point, I thought. And the second part of it says that this Swayam Kurutaha, this is a very, very important one that we have discussed before also, that this Brahman created this world, no other factor was involved in it. And some people will split Brahman and Maya into two, correct? The Brahman is there, Maya is there, some people. But actually it is not two things. The Vedanta calls it the power of Brahman. How do I explain that? अगर ब्राह्मण है तो उसका पावर भी होगा ही होगा. अगर ब्राह्मण है तो it will manifest itself. It's something like if there is a fire, there will be heat and light. Is there any dispute in anybody's mind about that? Can there be a fire without heat and light that we know of? No. Same way, Brahman and Maya it's like two sides of the same coin. Right? That way you can look at it. So there is no other factor. Or the other very good example I like is a dance and a dancer. You cannot separate that. The dance is a part of the dancer only. It just manifests sometime. Other time the person is quiet. Other time it dances, right? Same way, there's one factor only, Brahman. No other cause is there. And by itself, it creates the world. Everybody looks very kind of quiet. And that's why I told you, put your thinking hat on. Basically, all they are saying कि कोई और बाहर से आके भगवान को बोला नहीं कि तुम दुनिया बनाओ. उन्होंने अपनी मर्जी से अपने आप ही बनाई है. बस इतना अगर समझ लो, that's good. Okay, now go back. How do I explain this in the worldly sense? You take clay and pot. Okay? So, clay and pot में क्या होता है कि pot may think that clay is different from me and all that, but actually it's not, right? From the clay perspective, everything is clay. It just gave a little shape and we started calling it pot. The same way Brahman is there and it gave a little shape, this, that for some clay, and we call it sansar, but actually it is Bhagwan only. And another good example that I like to understand this concept is ocean and the waves. When we look at the waves, ऊपर ऊपर से तो वही दिखाई देता है, लगता है ओ माय गॉड ओशन मीन्स वेव्स एंड ऑल। कोई बोला अंदर जाके देखो, किसी ने बोला पूरा हिमालय पर्वत आ सकता है। ये मेरे को मालूम भी नहीं था ये बात। ये पूरे पैसिफिक का जो डेप्थ है ना, इट इज डीपर देन हिमालय पर्वत, राइट। जितना डीप जाओगे कोई वेव कुछ नहीं है वहां पे। वेव इज ओनली ऑन द सरफेस, लिटिल बिट डिस्टर्बेंस ऑफ द वाटर, आई मीन थ्रू द एयर। वायु से जो डिस्टर्बेंस हो रहा है उससे वेव आ रही है, और मे बी अ लिटिल पुल फ्रॉम द मून एंड ऑल दैट, द वेव्स आर क्रिएटेड. Deeper ocean is very big, very serene. The same way it's the Brahman. Brahman is vast, big, and a little bit of disturbance. We call this world. But from the Brahman perspective, it's all Brahman only. So that's why it is. But the only problem is because that Brahman for us is avyakta. Everybody understand the word unmanifest, right? That's why they call it asat in this. Because even in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan told Arjuna, and we already did that verse, that I pervade this whole world in my unmanifest form, avyakta form. That's why it is avyakt for us. And another angle, Nikhilanandji took to explain this, cause and effect. Chinmayanandji uses this analogy a lot about cause and effect, because it's a scientific fact that cause always comes first, then the effect comes. And what is the relationship between cause and effect? Cause is primary. Cause can live without an effect, but the effect cannot live without a cause. Chakra gaya ki nahi sir? But think about it. All the scientific mind, okay, that effect होने के लिए कॉज जरूरी है, लेकिन कॉज के लिए जरूरी नहीं इफेक्ट. कॉज कैन बी इन itself pure form also. That's what they are trying to say. Okay, so this is an important scientific fact. So creation का भी ऐसा ही है कि Brahman was there first and then the world was manifested. But Brahman can be without manifestation also, and when it is without manifestation, that's when they called it asat over here. That's all it is. Okay. So the other important thing is the last part, that when it is called, it is said that Swamiji gave a very elaborate commentary on it. The word sukrutam. He said that sukrutam means something that is very well made. Beautiful, absolutely, divine, perfect. So कोई बोलेगा कि दुनिया में तो इतनी प्रॉब्लम्स है, ये है वो है. वेदांता नहीं सोचता ऐसा. जब वेदांत, everything is divine because it's made from divine. How can the effect be different from a cause? So it is well made, it is self-made. Both the words are in this Sukrutam. That's why we have to respect it. We have to look at it in a divine manner. So that's the big difference between other religion and ours. We look at the entire manifestation as divine. There's nothing bad in the universe, and we should be joyful, happy, and things like that. But it's not made out of sin. The world was created because of sin. That's not how we look at it. So that's what he's going to discuss in his commentary, which gives us, according to him, a lot of happiness and peace if we take that angle, And then he will give an example also, that if you see a painting and you see it from very very close, उसमें तुमको कुछ समझ में नहीं आएगा, सब ऐसे बेकार सा ही दिखेगा. You go further, उसकी पूरी ब्यूटी आ जाएगी पेंटिंग की. Same way the world is like that. If you see it from too close, and then you will find all kind of faults and all, and then you go back. And the best example is those people who landed up on the moon. उनको जाके पूछो कि भाई तुमको धरती कैसी दिखाई देती है, वो तुमको पूरा वेदांता बता देंगे, स्पिरिचुअल. वो बोलेंगे कि इतना सुंदर चीज तो मैंने देखी नहीं है. हम लोग को चंद्रमा सुंदर दिख रहा है कि खाली सफेद है. इमेजिन द ब्लू एंड ग्रीन प्लैनेट. ओ माय गॉड, यू गेट गूस बम्प्स. उस 3 गुना बड़ा उससे. देख के पागल हो रहे थे कि ये हमारी दुनिया है. वो सब भूल गए, जितने भी डिफरेंसेस है, फाइट्स है, डिफरेंट, सब कुछ भूल गए वो लोग. So that's what is Sukrutam, well made, And I was thinking about it. We always call other things heavenly body. हम लोग बोलते हैं कि नहीं? Oh, those stars and those planets, heavenly body. अगर कोई वहाँ पहुँच गया तो उनको हम लोग भी heavenly body दिखाई देंगे, है कि नहीं? Why do we think the world is so bad? Because our soch is bad, right? We think like that. That's why. I think that was an amazing point that Swamiji brought in. And Vedanta is a very happy place to be. Very, very happy. So, I mean, we don't have much time, so we'll read Swamiji's commentary. But any question or comment? So this was so difficult.
If we just remember that, the Lord is in everything. I mean, what I'm saying, what you're saying or doing, it is in every bit of it. In, I don't know, every molecule, every atom, whatever you call it. Once you see that, there is a beauty in it.
Yeah. And if you contemplate,
that's what the Rishi see is him alone. And if you can see that, if you can remember that or think that, then you see the beauty in everything, even though whatever's happening, the war's happening and things are happening out there. But even an action of a thief, who's doing that action is the Lord himself.
Yeah.
If you see that oneness, then you can enjoy everything.
Yeah. That's exactly what they're saying. And they are going even one step further when you say that, every kan mein Bhagwan hai. They are, Vedanta is saying, kan mein Bhagwan, kya wo kan hi Bhagwan hai.
Exactly, yes.
So they are taking you one step. It's like you take one drop of water from the ocean, it will still be salty because it's part of that. So whichever way you want to look at it. So I think that's the beauty of it. But, all this contradiction.
Everything is... Sorry. Go
I was just saying that the contradiction that they are doing just to jog our mind. That's why they use all these words so that we go deep into thinking about it. Yeah. What were you saying?
I was just saying, even that kan, jaise aap keh rahe ho, are made of those 5 elements.
Yes.
Nothing else.
Yeah.
And that's him alone.
Correct.
So,
yeah. So any other comment, question?
जो आपने एग्जाम्पल दिया था पेंटिंग का,
हाँ.
You can see the beauty in that painting, or you can find the faults in that painting.
Yeah, depends on where you're standing, right?
Where you're standing and how you're looking.
Yes.
If you're looking only to criticize, you're looking for faults.
Absolutely. और वो एक वो बुक लिखी है ना तेजोमय आनंद जी ने, विजन ऑफ भगवद गीता, उसमें उन्होंने स्ट्रेस किया है कि भगवद गीता गिव्स यू अ ब्रॉडर विजन of everything. That's why you come out of your grief, because if what is grief is usually you are looking at a very microscopic way your life, and it is looking so difficult, and the more you expand, and even just this life you see, we will start feeling miserable. But if you expand it to many lives, then suddenly your vision changes. Then you're nobody to blame, and So expanding the vision definitely is a very, very important thing in Vedanta.
And also what Meena ji just said, looking for oneness in everything.
Yes.
Once you connect to each and everything, then it's a happy place.
And that oneness, even scientifically it is true. The moment we feel oneness with someone, हम उनका फॉल्ट नहीं दिखा देते हम लोग को फिर अपने बच्चों का, ग्रैंड चिल्ड्रन का तो बिल्कुल ही नहीं दिखाई देता जब छोटे होते हैं तो. आई डोंट नो, अभी मेरे बड़े नहीं हुए.
Just to give you an example, if you see somebody who's committing a murder, once you have the concept of oneness, then all you think about is how can we help him.
Yeah, and there are people like that, and I met those people जिनका somebody murdered their child, and they still went and forgave that person, and then they started this organization. कोई चिन्मया मिशन में आया था एक बार एक आदमी, he started some forgiving organization or something, and people were just like shocked that how can somebody forgive in that. But he said that information got downloaded to him from above, that your life purpose is to teach people forgiveness. It's hard for us to imagine, but there are people like that even today in this world.
And once you give him forgiveness, that's when he realizes there is love.
Yes, and that particular family, which जिसके बेटे ने इसके बेटे को मार डाला था, मतलब it was some kind of a teenage shootout, some gang problem, right? That family completely transformed. They are friends now. Can you believe that? He was saying that how this family was going through so much pain, and now that whole family is transformed, and the person was obviously, he had to go to jail and all that, and all that, but he kept in touch with him, and he is has a lot of repentance, and he's turned into a good person now because of this love and forgiveness and all that. So it can have a long reaching
You
effect.
forgive somebody not only for them, but for your own sake.
Actually, you do it for your own self. You are absolutely right. You are doing it for your own self,
Yes.
and then it helps you only. Absolutely. But in that process, that forgiveness, you are making room for other people, to heal, for room for other people to heal. That's what it is.
Very true.
Yeah.
One more thing, in the painting that you talked about, if we just look at where the painting is made, it's on the canvas. You look at the canvas, the whole thing is just that one canvas.
Exactly. Without that canvas, painting won't be.
Won't be existing. And
Yes.
therefore, that Brahman is there, that one alone.
And then now that we're talking about painting, somebody said this drishtant also, very nice one. They said कि जब हम लोग कोई एग्जीबिशन में जाते हैं, पेंटिंग का, कोई आर्टिस्ट का एग्जीबिशन में गए समझो, तो वो हम लोग एक पेंटिंग में वो दिखाएगा कि some very bad scene, in a sense, sad scene, कि भाई some war scene. If you go to Europe and all, which most of us have probably gone and seen those museums, उसमें वो कितने बड़े बड़े वही वॉर वगैरह के सीन, कोई ब्लड है, ये है, वो है, तो भी हम लोग कितना ध्यान से उसको देखेंगे, उतनी अच्छी पेंटिंग है. Because what are we doing there? Admiring the creator of the painting. And there could be other painting which is some beautiful scene of sunset or God or anything. उसको भी admire करें, इसको भी कर रहे हैं. Why? Because we are admiring the creator. उसकी creativity की हम लोग admire कर रहे हैं. So in this world also, when we say something no good, not good, there's ये दुनिया है, duality है, जिसने बनाया है वो तो कुछ अलग ही है, उसका talent तो कुछ अलग ही है,
उसको देख लोगे तो that's
yes. Then you will admire both. That's what they were trying to say.
Yeah.
Yes. So, movies का भी ऐसा ही है कि when जो कोई हम लोग को मूवी अच्छी लगती है तो हमेशा हम लोग वो डायरेक्टर कौन है इसका, इसका प्रोड्यूसर कौन है, we always go for that. और वो प्रोड्यूसर है तो उसकी मूवी अच्छी होगी. Don't we always give more importance to them, producer and all that? Yeah. So this movie of this world, we gotta go to a movie maker. Yeah. Okay. Any other last thought? So I think Swamiji's commentary will be very beautiful when we read this Taittiriya Upanishad. Yeah. Okay. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukad bhag bhavet. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. I think next week is going to be in the temple. So whoever can, please join us over there. I'll send the info. Okay. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om.